is Kentucky's Voice Radio, covering the latest state and local issues with Tom Fallbush, Bob Scott, and Jim Waters.
Tom is live.
Our fearless leader is here.
He's still working his earpiece. So welcome to the show, guys. This is Kentucky's Voice, a Friday version. It's a live version. And we've had a few reruns the past week or so bear with us on that. We're doing some rescheduling of some of our hosts. But today is a live show, and we have some awesome guests today. And so we have an announcement to make, too, about the station that you're listening to or watching this on, WBNA. We actually own a low-power TV station here in town called Channel 50. So we just call it Channel 50. It's W25 something. We're going to be bringing Newsmax to that station.
Wonderful.
And Newsmax, I'm sure you're familiar with that network. It's a conservative news network, and so recognition of that, we're going to have someone from Newsmax on the show with us today, and we're going to talk about things related to that, and also just things about California, because he actually lives in California, lives in L.A., and if you know anything about L.A. right now, it's a pretty interesting place politically. You've got the whole mayoral's race. Is that how you say it? Mayor's race? The mayor's race.
Yes.
Yeah, with Karen Bass and Pratt and what's his first name? Spencer Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the coolest commercials, campaigns in the history of politics, I think. But there's a lot going on there. Did he win? Did he not? Is it cheating? And da-da-da. So we're going to talk about that. And also just the future of Democrat-run blue cities, right? Like L.A. What the future holds for Louisville if we continue to go down the path that we're going down, which is, Democrat-dominated, cities. But we have an option here. We have a real hope here in this city because we can actually flip the Metro Council here in this town and to make it more of a conservative council. And it's a very rare thing for a large metro area to have this opportunity. And we've got it. And we actually have a guest on later today who's actually running for Metro Council. And he actually won his primary, and it's Lonnie. And so, Lonnie, what's your last name? I'm sorry.
Lonnie Joseph.
Joseph, that's it. Lonnie Joseph. Okay, Lonnie Joseph is here with us today. We're going to talk about that. So two things. So, L.A., what's in store for Louisville if we don't get Lonnie in? Basically, that's what the show's about. But anyway, and so, Mr. Producer, do we have first let me introduce Debbie Robbins. Hello,
Hey
Debbie.
there. We've missed you. We're glad you're back.
Yes, I've been traveling a bit. I was out on the West Coast. I was
yes.
out on the left coast, as you say. And but I'm back to the heartland. And so, Bob Scott, I think you're on with us as well.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Debbie and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, and we told our audience we'd go into a little bit more depth today, which we're going to do with regard to, in my opinion, the election once again was stolen by the Democrats out in California. They held up results. I think it was almost a week so they could get the votes that they needed to overcome Spencer Pratt, in that. So I shake my head every time I look at some of the shenanigans that these blue states and blue cities do. And I honestly, Tom, I think they take us for stupid.
Yeah, they really do. Exactly right, because they do it out in the open now. It's not even, everybody's kind of onto them, and yet they still do it. And so that's what's blowing me away. But so that's why I can't figure out why we can't get a conviction on this sort of stuff. It seems pretty obvious that these things are happening. So where's the DOJ? Where's the FBI? I don't know.
Well, California is run by Democrats. So you're going to have some people with courage and moral backbone who are going to say, I'm sick of it, and I'm going to do something about it.
And we need the feds.
And
the feds as well.
Needs to happen. But it takes us also talking about it all the time and demanding it of our elected officials.
That's right.
Because sometimes, I'm sad to say, they're complicit in it.
That's right. Well, and we want to hear your thoughts as well. So 5710970, 5710970. And does Louisville have a future? As a metro area, is it going to be like Detroit? Will it kind of empty out because of just bad politics, the urban doom loop that we've talked about in the past? Or can we revive this city with some good governance and a strong metro council? And so
school board
and a a good school system that actually serves our kids and not the teachers. So we'll be right back here at Kentucky's Voice with Newsmax.
late on that one.
Now, back to Kentucky's Voice Radio, online at kyvoice.org.
All right, we have a few technical problems going on. We're trying to get our guest on, and with all the Zoom links and all that around the country, it sometimes can be wonky, so we're working on that. But so L.A. I mean, it's a beautiful. I mean, California is beautiful. If you've ever been out to California, you can see why people want to move there. The weather's great.
Yeah.
There's just a wonderful spirit in the air in a lot of ways. It's a very optimistic place because the weather's cool, and it's a home of showbiz and technology, and there's still a lot of conservatives out there. If you get out of the big cities, there's still a lot of conservatives in the rural areas. They're just overwhelmed by the urban areas. And
well, I'm not sure they're overwhelmed. I think again, it's election integrity issues.
Yeah, well, there we go.
I really do.
They just been cheating.
I do.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there.
So, we get to go out there next month, our family. So I'm excited about that. San Diego, California.
Oh, nice
it's just
place.
Beautiful.
Nice
it's beautiful.
Place. So do we have our guest yet, Mr. Producer? Is he?
Yeah. Are we good?
Not yet. Okay, still trying to.
Well,
okay. Well, we'll get to him in a second. So,
that's the fun part of doing live TV and radio. It's always something that seems to come up. But I've been to California on several occasions, and I'll just jump in and say it really does have it all from the standpoint of beauty. It's just a shame. That especially in the big cities of San Francisco and LA, and they're huge, and consequently, that's a big part. Besides the fact Debbie was talking about, and I think she's right. We know there's a lot of cheating going on there, but it's a vitally important state to our national economy. They produce a lot. Besides the fact it's a shipping magnet with regard to goods and services that are coming in from the east, but it also it is a very important part of our agriculture.
Right.
Getting our food, especially fruits and vegetables. So I don't know that there's an easy answer, but I do know by the hundreds of thousands, a lot of Californians have thrown up their hands and said enough. They've decided to move out.
Everybody in this area, in this region, has met a California refugee. Because especially if you've gone to Nashville. Nashville's half Californian now, it's just a kind of a fleeing of the left coast, as they say. And it's a shame because California used to be a very conservative state. I mean, it's the home of Reagan. It's the home of a very strong, Western Republican tradition. And what happened, guys? What happened is a lot of illegal immigration, right? And a lot of, anchor babies. And suddenly you get a big, demographic change and a big political change. And, as it used to be, they would say California is sort of like the canary in the coal mine for the rest of the country.
Right.
California is the first place things happen, first place where trends start. So if you want to see what the rest of the country will look like if we don't shut down this illegal immigration problem, we'll look at California, where Republicans will never have a future there because of just the domination of the left out there. Yeah, so really.
Well, and I just want to throw in too, though, Tom. I mean, look at all of the older generation Democrats there that have ruled. Nancy Pelosi, who was our Speaker of the House for how long? During the Obama administration. And those people have allowed it. They've allowed this to happen. And I just find it crazy. That's what we've been calling them this year.
Right.
Crazy versus common sense. So anyway, I don't know what we're going to do about it, but I'm looking forward to meeting our guest if he gets to get on the line. And you say he's with Newsmax?
He's with Newsmax.
All right.
And I wanted to hear.
I can hear him. I know we have audio.
Come on, Debbie,
I'm here, Tom. I'm sorry.
Is he here? Okay. Is Justin here? Okay. Well, you can. It's just the video's not working, but I think we can hear you.
It's so bizarre.
Okay, well let's just do a segment with just some audio here. And so if you're watching, we have somebody on the line that you can't see. His name is Justin Hallman, and he is with Newsmax, and he is a good friend of mine. We've known each other for years, and but he lives in L.A. And so we're just so tell us first of all, what's life like? What was life like, say 40, 50 years ago, 30 years ago? And I don't want to assume your age.
30 years ago,
30 years ago,
we were living. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, just I don't want to assume your age. So 20 years ago, what was life like when in the good old days and
Well, I
compared
was
to now?
born in 1970, and life was a dream in California
Mhm.
up until you know I would say 15 years ago, we started to see a big shift here. And then what the narrative has taken over for the Democrat narrative out here is everything's fine. Don't look up, don't look around. And then I have conversations with Los Angeles Police Department who say they can't wait till they get to retirement now because they're not allowed to police anymore.
Yeah.
They're basically just going around giving speeding tickets. And unless there's a shooting, we don't have any response. 911 calls go pretty much unanswered. They'll take an hour to get to a regular call if we're lucky. So you really have to say someone has a gun to have them speed it up because they're understaffed. When the George Floyd incident happened in 2020, they took a knee out here with the former mayor and defunded the LA Police Department by about $500 million. So that led to shortage of staffing. And now we have like 5 or 6 units to patrol the San Fernando Valley, which is probably a 20-mile square mile area perimeter, and you have 4 to 5 units going to these calls. So if you have one robbery and they're all going in there, and then you have another section of the valley completely unprotected, and that's where we are. The big tagline for Mayor Harris for her reelection campaign was how she's done so much for the homeless and crime. However, I can tell you that I had someone sleeping in my planter outside my house last summer. We see homeless on the streets all over the valley. We had someone on our street the other day wrapped up in a bed sheet in someone's driveway because they're cleaning out the Sepulveda Basin here in LA to get ready for the Olympics in 28 because they have some events happening nearby. So they're displacing the homeless that were living in the basin, and now they're wandering Ventura Boulevard where, the families and kids are going up and down to restaurants and markets, and they're all over the place. So
Goodness.
that's what's happened in LA. I stopped defending the city that I grew up and loved for probably 12 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And you live in a nicer area, and a lot of these issues are starting to come into your area. I think you mentioned there's some home invasions in the neighborhood that you're in, and
The home invasions are happening almost daily. There is an app that will show you live time what's happening with 911 calls out here in the area where you live in. It's a geo fenced of where you are to tell you what's happening, and it'll say home invasion, 3 people break into a house, and it's all along between the areas of Sherman Oaks all the way through Tarzana up on the hills here, where they're just showing up and they are flat out breaking in. They have their police scanner apps ready to go, so they know the timing they have to rob the home. And a lot of times the exits out here, there's a lot of freeway entrances for them to get up, do their business, and get out. And the thing that's really shifted about the home invasions, robberies has become more home invasions, is that they don't care that people are home because they know they have time to get out. And a follow-up comment on that is when I was talking to an LA police officer just after one near my house a couple years ago, they said, look, the laws have been reduced so much that if we do catch a person with a gun, they're processed, there's no cash bail, so they're set back out to the street in a few hours with a court date. And that's where we are.
goodness.
Justin, I have a question. This is Debbie. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. What is the attitude of the people? Have they just gotten so apathetic where they just don't care? Or is it truly this massive election integrity problem because you have your one rule government of the Democrat Party and people are feeling helpless? Or what is the sentiment? What do you think ultimately is going to happen to turn this around? Because us watching it here from Kentucky, I mean, we have our own problems, but, the hillbilly in me wants to get out there in California and help.
That's right.
So what's
Load up
going
the truck
on?
and move to Beverly. That's kind of what we're,
what's going to give out there to make
California's
things
the place
change?
you ought to be.
Well, I would love to show my face and show you my exasperated expression if the video would work. Is that the latter has happened where the Democrat machine has really taken over, and I'm not going to talk about cheating or whatever else because that opens it up for people saying, well, you're a Republican or whatnot. I will tell you that Spencer Pratt, who just ran for mayor, and he's a Pacific Palisades resident, who had enough, and he started putting himself on video on social media platforms like Instagram. Then he ran for mayor, and the guy said everything right. I mean, what he wanted to do. He's a resident. He wanted to turn this around.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yes.
Great. He's awesome. And a real telling mark about this Democrat machine, let's put it this way. The mayoral debate had Spencer Pratt, Nithya Raman, and Mayor Bass. And he actually dominated. He answered all the questions, like yes or no questions about non-citizens being allowed to vote. It was yes or no. He said no. The other two said, well, you can't just say that because there could be people with green cards, this and that. But that doesn't really apply because people with green cards can't vote. And then
isn't that pitiful that they don't even know the law, or if they do, they're just ignoring it?
Well, there's not a lot we can do because I talked to my neighbors and whatnot, and we're all very scared because it's all over the place with the crime, with the lack of enforcement, with the shoplifting and everything else. And when you have the late night ballots coming in at the last minute, like the election night, Spencer Pratt had a very comfortable second place lead to head to the runoff in November.
Right.
And then right near the end of it'll take a few weeks to count all the votes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
But then within a week, Raman surpassed him. They closed it, said she beat him, and she wants to get rid of the LAPD. She doesn't want to move homeless at campus away from schools. Explain that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
so, well, we're going to come back, and Justin, if you can stay with us one more break, or one more segment, I want to just unpack, what happened and how, is there hope, and what warnings you would give other cities around the country about what's happened to LA. So we'll be right back here with Justin Hallman with Newsmax here on Kentucky's Voice.
Now, back to Kentucky's Voice Radio, online at kyvoice.org.
It's on our voice, and we're talking California politics, right? LA politics. So what does that have to do with Kentucky? Well, or Louisville? Well, it has a lot to do with it because, if you want to see the future of America, very often you look at California, right? California is sort of a canary in the coal mine for the rest of the country. And so you want to see bad politics playing out. Look at LA. Look at sort of the Democratic domination, a one-party state rule of California. And so we have a special guest on, Justin Hallman, who is with Newsmax, and he's an executive there and a good friend of mine. And we are just talking about all things LA. He's a native Los Angelino. Is that right? How you say it? Los Angelino? I think so.
I don't know.
So. There we go. Been there his whole life, and Spencer Pratt. If you paid attention to politics at all, and people listen to the show do. This is a conservative talk radio station, so I'm sure you've seen a Spencer Pratt commercial in the past, and just how innovative he's been. It's hard to believe that even the average, sort of voting citizen voter that maybe wasn't so partisan, but just it's hard to believe that they wouldn't support somebody like him, just for this. For the problems that LA has had, and his solutions that seem so common sense. So explain the results. I'm going to put up the results on the screen while we're talking, but explain these results. Yeah, of the mayor's
Justin
race.
there?
Yeah, Justin, you still with us? Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, Karen Bass. 292,000 votes, so 34% of the vote. Nithya Raman, 247,000 votes, so 29%. And then Spencer Pratt, 217, so about 30,000 votes off. And where did that come? Well, where did those 30,000 votes come from for Nithya Raman? She was pretty far behind at election night.
Well, she was really far behind, and it kind of reminds me of the 2022 Georgia election. Can you hear me okay on this one?
Yeah, sure can.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you had Ossoff and I'm sorry, the other candidate, the Democrats in 2022, both Republican candidates, and this is in Georgia, who were up with 93% of the vote in, they're up 3%, and then the dump came in of the mail-in ballots, and they both lost. That's what happened here with Rahman. And also, I want to throw in also with the Rahman surge and then surpassing Spencer Pratt at the same time. There was also an increase in the sales tax for Los Angeles from 9.75% to 10.25%. That on election night, it was killed. But then with the Rahman votes coming in, the sales tax passed. Now, I don't find a lot of Los Angeles people and native Angelenos who are going to want to have their sales tax increase. We already had it almost at 10%. Now we're over 10%. So you want to explain how that one got through?
That's right. Yeah, even in
it's the same thing.
Yeah, even in deep blue Democrat areas, people don't voluntarily vote for more taxes if they have a choice. If they can actually vote on it, they're not going to vote to raise their own taxes. So totally agree with that. So something's fishy. So you think the mail-in ballot issue is where where the scandal is, or where the illegalities are occurring?
Well, absolutely, and it started with mail-in ballots. Like, I don't understand why California needs a month to count ballots when we used to know everything on election night, and then you have the concession speeches, the victory speech, and now it's taking forever and a day. And guess what? They just get those votes they need for those candidates that the machine wants to get through. Now, call me a conspiracy theorist, but it all seems to add up pretty well,
Let me jump in there, Justin. I can figure it out pretty quick. I'm not the brightest guy, but I can tell you it's because they're cheating.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll say it. If you can't, we'll say
we'll
it for you.
say the hard stuff. You got to live there. But it's just bold-faced cheating that's happening, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Now, the question is, what's going to be done about it? I know we've all run down many different rabbit holes, but here we are.
We want accountability. It's ridiculous.
And we are looking for accountability, and we're more importantly, we're looking for some action. Some potentially federal indictments that need to happen. There is absolutely no way in the year 2026 that it should be taking a freaking week to count, results.
City.
It's ridiculous. City. It's nuts. It's corruption in its highest form. So what can we do about it, brother? That's my question.
Well, it's really refreshing hearing this from people outside the state of California that are paying attention, and you're paying mind to this, because it is so far past a fixable state that it's taken over everywhere. Governor Newsom just had a preemptive press conference about the investigation into he and his wife for some fraud about nonprofit allocations that went to them personally. And he came right out and said that Donald Trump is going after him because of his mean tweets towards Donald Trump. Well, guess what? That investigation started before Donald Trump took office. So the whole blame out to Trump. And what happens
Are you talking about Gavin Newsom or Spencer Pratt? I think you accidentally said
Newsom.
Spencer. Okay. Yeah.
Gavin Newsom.
Yes.
And
Okay.
when you have that happening, and the media, here's the problem. The biggest problem for us getting any kind of honest opinion about this stuff is the media is backing all of the crazy bad candidates.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
And so that's the big tidal wave that's taken over. And if we say anything against it, we're racist, we're misogynist, blah, 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 and they shut us down. So that's the big part, is the media. And then you have the election integrity that's just taken a complete backwards, down the drain with we have to, you want to see how it stops? Mail-in balloting and harvesting has got to go away. These
It does.
And let me tell you something. It exists even here in Kentucky. I know that for a fact.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And Debbie also has worked as an election poll worker, volunteer, so she's seen it up close and personal. It exists, and I know of a race that I had a friend was involved in. He won, but it was a lot closer than it should have been. But I know that his opponent was ballot harvesting. They were sending people to a nursing home to collect votes. And it's so interesting that every single vote from that nursing home went to his opponent. Statistically impossible, but every single vote did.
Well, you know what? All we can hope for is that the Supreme Court, we're waiting on that decision on mail-in ballots. That could be today.
They have to kill mail-in balloting, otherwise we're this is very tough. This is going past the point of no return with this whole machine happening, and we're headed towards socialism. I mean, you see the map around the country where socialist candidates are starting to win around there, and California is kind of the poster child of, hey, look out, look what's happening to our state. It's getting very impossible to live here with taxes, crime. And the whole we can't get people elected. We had a great candidate in Rick Caruso, a behemoth of a commercial property developer out in Los Angeles, a very well-known man. He ran for mayor against Karen Bass in the last election, and he lost. He was actually ahead a lot during that election, and then guess what? He lost. He was going to run again. Everyone was behind him, but the death threats to he and his family dropped him out of the race.
That's crazy. Was it in 2020? Was it in 2020, Justin, where your legislature there opened up this whole mail-in ballot, and it's like once something gets passed, it's like you said, you can't ever rewind it.
Well, it was COVID, Debbie.
I know, but it should have been temporary. It should be stopped. That's why the president is constantly hounding about it. All we can pray for is the Supreme Court will rule on our favor on that, but then Again, I want people to go to jail. I want them to go.
Let me add one more thing. The LA City Council just voted 10-5 that non-citizens can vote in elections.
That's crazy.
Blatant disregard for our federal constitution, but oh well. It's California. Anything can happen there.
How does it get through? Where's the Constitution in this?
Yeah,
exactly.
10-5, they can vote.
Somebody, citizens need to sue. I wish people would come together as citizens and take it all the way to the Supreme Court. I think if it's group, if we start group funding or doing things to stop this insanity, I don't know, or we're going to have like Tom Ice says, we're going to have another civil war.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Justin, thank you for coming on. We only have like 20 seconds left. I'm going to try to hold you over a second if we can, but thanks for bringing Newsmax to Louisville. We're going to talk. We promoted that earlier in the show, and Channel 50. You'll be able to watch that on Channel 50 here in Louisville. And so we'll be right back with more LA.
back to Kentucky's Voice Radio online at kyvoice.org.
All right. Well, welcome back to Kentucky's Voice. And we had just a great guest from Newsmax, Justin Hallman, who lives in L.A., a lifelong Angelino, and just telling us the life and times of what it's like to live there. And watching a state that, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s was just, that's sort of the Shangri-La
It was
of
conservative
America,
country.
It was conservative country, and it's just the place you wanted to be. It was just a beautiful place, and it was a very family-oriented state, and things just went downhill quickly, and due to left-wing politics, and
I know.
immigration issues and just one-party rule, and it just
Well, you know what, Tom? Here's the deal. It's intentional. It's been thought out. They are running the playbook that's been in existence probably since the 60s, and they are going in. We saw Mondami in New York. We're seeing Washington is now falling, even though Trump has threatened. And it's a little bit of a different situation because
he can
the
take
federal
over.
government is based out of there, but he has threatened a federal takeover completely if this Janice, her last name's George something, but anyway, if she comes in and institutes, what she's threatening to do in our nation's capital. Janice Lewis George is the lady that was elected by the Democrats. Democrats. To be their candidate, and she is a full-fledged, all-out, Looney Tune leftist socialist.
Yeah, it shows you where the energy of that party is. It's on the far left and on the communist left. It's kind of where it is.
Yeah.
But well, listen, we're going to talk about Louisville now and how this impacts us. We're talking about L.A. If you're just tuning in here, why are you talking about California? What about Los Angeles? Well, Los Angeles is sort of a harbinger of the rest of the country, and especially how big cities and metro areas are ran. So, because very often large cities are run by Democrat politicians and the Democrat machine, from both the mayor's office down to the councilman, and so our city has a chance now to actually fight that trend. We're about 3 seats away.
Three seats away. This year we've got to keep 3 Republicans, and we want to gain 3. And we've got one of them here today.
Now these are nonpartisan races. So,
yes.
So you really have to know the names of these people when you go into the voting booth. And you're not going to see an R and a D next to those names. So you got to remember these names.
Yeah,
here we go.
There
we got
they
it up
are
on the screen. These are the folks, depending on where you live, these are the folks you need to be voting for. And we have one of those candidates here today, Lonnie Joseph of District 21. And so, and Lonnie, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. And actually, and congratulations for winning your primary.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we've had you on several times, and it's just awesome to see that you're pushing through and you're going off onto the general. And so, tell everybody where your district is again, real quick. It's just north of the airport.
Yeah, District 21. It makes up the airport, the Fair and Exposition Center, the Ford plant. Of course, nobody can vote there, but that's the largest area.
Yeah.
And then it goes Southern Parkway all the way to Iroquois Park. It cuts over New Cut Drive, back down Southside Drive, Beachmont, Wilder Park. Those are 2 very big, important areas. We go Prestonia, which is on Preston. Linview is a big area. Then straight out to Fern Valley Road, and then it takes a hard left, and it goes all the way out here to Westport. Road. To Shepherdsville.
So it's a great area. So you watched our previous 2 segments. You were here, and you watched Justin's comments about L.A. and just California politics. What are your thoughts? What's your takeaway from that? What are your thoughts?
I think we're a miniature version of that.
Yeah.
we have a lot of the same issues that they have.
Yeah.
Policing.
Yeah.
We don't have enough police officers. I'm big on police.
Yes.
If we have, I think, more police, less crime.
Yeah.
The other candidates that I run against and defeated 2 of them, they were wanting to not defund the police, but less money going towards the police, less funding. Right. They wanted to take that funding and use it on items,
social workers or
things like that.
Right.
If you have less police, you're going to have higher crime. It just that's the way it works.
Bottom line.
Yes.
I'm the 4th Division Police Advisory Board president, so I meet monthly with the police department. We talk about crime. Crime in my area may be different in other districts,
right?
But it's still crime. I live in an area where we have Taylor Berry Boulevard, and it's the highest per capita in the city of Louisville as far as crime.
What were you telling me off the air? You said about what just happened in one area, all the storefronts were.
There's a place called Iroquois Manor, and when I was growing up, it was thriving. I'll be honest with you. My first wife, when we got married, there was a great bakery there. We had a wedding cake done. There was a delicatessen. We had the food brought in from there. And of course, over time, those are gone. But in one section of that Iroquois Manor Shopping Center, just in the last week, somebody came through and busted out all the windows, and these are like
goodness,
6x8 glass
Yeah,
windows,
commercial windows. Yeah, right.
of a part of the shopping center.
yeah.
And we don't have enough police. Number one, they can't be everywhere at one time. I'm a big favor of working with the sheriff's department and having them help in manners like that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've got a great sheriff candidate. Are you friends with him? And what's his name again? Alex.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot of great ideas.
Yes.
He wants to get the sheriff's department out of the office, out of the, the
out from behind a desk.
Behind a desk, and get them out patrolling just like the LMPD. And they can work hand in hand. So that's a great idea. But we have the same issues. We've got issues. To give you an idea about when I ran through the primary, we put out 300 yard signs. We only got back 290. People told us they were there one day in their yard, they were gone the next. We literally, on the first day we put out yard signs, I put one in a neighbor's yard, and 15 minutes later, my wife found it 6 houses down on the sidewalk. So somebody walked by and took it. The day of the election, we put out 67 yard signs at the polling locations. We went back and gathered them up. We only gathered 27 yard signs.
Oh, my goodness.
We found some of them in dumpsters. We were told that because we weren't endorsed by certain agencies, that the day that we put them in the yard or on the street, they picked them up and threw them away.
Yeah.
So
it's just your opponents doing that. Your opponents who did not.
Names, but somebody that's either friends or neighbors or so on and so forth. We had a situation with a gentleman that said he wanted to vote for me, put a yard sign in his yard. 2 weeks later, I come back, my yard sign's gone, and my opponent in the general elections yard sign was in the yard. When I went to him and said, "Hey, what's going on? If you're not wanting to vote for me, I'm fine with that." He basically said he was strong-armed into putting it in his yard, that he was given the speech, "Hey, we've been friends for 6 years, and I can't believe you're voting for him." And so he said he felt guilty, he put a yard sign in there. But
it's a tough business, but I think you ran a fantastic campaign, and you need to continue doing so, and you can't be deterred by that.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. I get a kick out of it because I can tell they're scared.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm getting
That's
to
right.
them.
Yeah, you don't get that kind of pushback unless you're over the target.
Right.
It's like the old World War II meme. You don't get flack unless you're right over the target.
Right. Right.
And so that's. But let's talk about the general election. So you've won this primary, and so you have one opponent who's a more of a left wing Democrat. But even though it's a nonpartisan race, for those that are paying attention, these Metro Council races and the mayor's race is a nonpartisan race now in Louisville. So you got to know these names. So remember Lonnie. But so let's handicap the general. What are your thoughts on it? And is your district generally more Democrat than Republican historically?
Yeah. There's I think it's 17,500 voters, registered voters. That doesn't mean they vote, but 10,500 are Democrats, 5,000 are Republicans, and 2,500 are independent.
Okay.
And I've got during the time we door knocked, we got a great response from the Republican Party.
Yeah.
We got a great response from the independents, and we really got a great response from the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
We had many Democrats that we knocked on their doors said, "It's time for a change.
Yeah.
Please put a yard sign in my yard."
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
great.
That's awesome because they're just tired of pretty flowers and trees, and that doesn't fix the problems that we have. Infrastructure, business, we've got to support small business. We got to utilize infrastructure that we currently have.
Right.
Crime. Just like I think he talked about people moving from California to Nashville.
Yes.
Nashville's growing like crazy. Me and my wife love going to Nashville.
Yeah.
We love going to Indianapolis. We get away. We love Louisville.
Yeah.
Yes.
But those two places, cities, are growing like crazy. They're about the same size as Louisville.
Yeah.
Yes.
Louisville is what I do call doing the cha-cha. We take a step forward and 2 steps back, a step
Yeah.
forward and 2 steps back.
That's right.
Right.
And it all comes down to the urban death loop. I think we've talked
Yeah.
on a show that I was here earlier,
Yeah.
and it goes counterclockwise.
Right.
We have to make a change in government.
Yeah.
Then we can make it go back in time.
Right.
And back when I was growing up, and I'm sure you were too, politicians didn't like each other,
Yeah.
but they did what was best for their
The
constituents.
community.
Yes.
Now it's totally
It's
different.
totally different.
There's a wall that's put up. If I come up with a great idea, it was just, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of politician. And when I say I'm a politician, this is my first time running. I want to be a candidate for the people. And the people are everybody,
Yes.
not just one side of the fence or the other side of the fence.
You know, Bob, it seems like there are a lot of common sense Democrats out there that are starting to wake up. I mean, you see that even in California. A lot of the folks that were voting for Spencer Pratt, a lot of them are disaffected Democrats that are just middle class folks that have always been a Democrat. I kind of just always like that. I feel like I'm a nicer person if I'm a Democrat, but I don't like all this crime and I don't like all this. And if somebody can actually come along and fix the problems now that are really bothering me, I'll vote for them.
Again, it shouldn't be a Republican Democrat issue,
Right.
Tom. It really, honestly, should come down to what's being done or what's not being done.
Right.
And by the way, I grew up in a Democrat family. I had my dad's mother; she was the only Republican, but everybody else was a Democrat. And
That's right.
so I was immersed in it, but it was a lot different then. More
That's
of a
right.
JFK style Democratic.
Yeah, it was
party.
a middle class party. It was a middle class party.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's done a 180 and it's now not that same Democratic Party. And again, folks, we need somebody like Lonnie Joseph. I'll go ahead and do a plug for this guy because it is a nonpartisan election, technically. But we need politicians that are going to do what's best for the common man, and the
Exactly.
people
I
they
wanna jump in.
represent.
I
Not
wanna
looking
jump in
out
with you.
after special interest groups, period.
Yes. No, exactly right. And on the local level, I've said it every time I have an opportunity on this show. On the local level, you've got to choose the right man or woman. And that means character, vetting them. Who are they? What is their background? Where do they have talent and giftedness that they could add to this city to help make it better? Do they have a good heart and they want to listen?
That's
and
right.
I think that's Lonnie. And
Yeah,
we'll
that's
be
Lonnie.
right back,
Yeah.
right, Tom?
We'll be right back here on Kentucky's Voice.
back to Kentucky's Voice Radio, online at kyvoice.org.
Welcome back to Kentucky's Voice. We're talking about Louisville, the future of Louisville. And, this is a show about Kentucky, but Louisville's the biggest metro area in Kentucky. And so what happens in Louisville impacts the city or impacts the state. So, and we have a chance to take the Metro Council and flip it to a conservative majority. We're only 3 seats away from that. And today we have one of the candidates that could help us do that, Lonnie Joseph. Lonnie Joseph is running for District 21, which is just north of the airport. And so, Lonnie, we were talking about, all the issues that affect these, Democrat-dominated cities and how we could change things. We talked about crime a lot in the last segment. There are a lot of other issues that, impacts the city that the Metro Council is wrestling with on a daily basis. The budget, for example, how we spend our money in this city. It seems a bit odd. And you told me in the break that, over 50% of the tax base in the city goes to the school board.
Yes.
And so just explain how that works and how maybe the Metro Council could influence our school system here, because we've got a lot of problems with our school system.
Yeah, the biggest problem that they have in the schools, and it's horrible for the kids because they're our future.
Right.
They can't read, they can't write, their arithmetic skills are horrible, and that's part of daily life that you're going to have to utilize to do your job and live your life.
So we're not educating the kids properly.
No,
Yeah,
and over 50%, I'm not sure about the exact number, goes of the city's budget goes to the school board.
Right.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
We've got to get that figured out. And with that being said, they've changed up from 7 school board members to 5.
Our state legislature did that for us.
Yes, the state legislature did that
to break it up.
And now we need to get a majority, 3 out of 5 of those positions filled with common sense.
Right.
Conservative thinking.
Yeah.
Conservative thinking, exactly
Because
right.
we again, I graduated 43 years ago. I think, they test the kids at the end of the year to see where they're at and, what percentile they need to do that with teachers too. They need to come up with something. Tenure, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
If you're not, just like me, when I go out and knock on doors, I'm doing a job interview. The people own the government. They own the business. I work for them. Hire me.
You've got it right.
Hire me. If I don't do a good job, just like a business, fire me.
Right.
I've got 4 years to prove my worth. If I do a good job, I'll get 4 more. If I don't, I expect to be terminated and the next person come in.
Right.
Isn't it amazing that people don't realize the power that they have? The way you just explained that is really extraordinary. It's so simple.
Well, their vote is their voice. And that's the way, whether it's, state legislature, school board, Metro Council, if you don't like something, that's the way you change it. Do not complain about the way things are going and then say, well, I didn't vote.
That's right.
Then you don't have a position. We need to be proactive instead of reactive.
That's
right.
right.
You need to be out front pushing these issues, making things happen. In my district, if you don't like who's in there now, I'm your man. I've got a situation where I've got 2 friends that they cannot stand the current incumbent, but they didn't vote for me because I'm a Republican. And I was told that straight to my face. Well, now they've got a hard decision to make because they cannot stand this person, but they didn't vote for me. So if you want 4 more years of what you had that you're complaining about,
That's right.
vote for that person. But don't come to me complaining about it anymore.
That's right.
If you want to give me a chance to make that change, I'm your man.
Right.
Whether it's me, Nancy Lynn Walters, Kat Timmerman, Anthony Piagentini, we want what's best. I grew up here in Louisville.
Yes.
I've lived in Louisville 30 plus years. I know my incumbent said, I've been here 16 years. Well, I got you beat. I'm almost double what you've been here.
Right.
That's not what I want you to vote for me for. I want you to vote for me to help me make a change in the city of Louisville.
You know what I'd like to put forward, because we have yourself and several others, and Mr. Producer, if you can put that list up, or the candidates that are running for Metro Council again on the screen. These are all great people, and several are incumbents that we need to reelect, but several are new, trying to flip the seat. Back in 1992, you had Newt Gingrich. He came in and flipped the U.S. House to Republican. And they did that with a campaign called the Contract for America. Right?
Yes,
Contract
that's a
for
great
America.
idea for here.
And so we need a contract for Louisville. We need to get all these candidates together and write just a bullet point list of what can change if this happens. And I like to hear that message. I mean, I just like to hear it myself. I mean, just for, we need Lonnie, let's get a contract for Louisville, and let's push that out there and say this is what's going to change if you vote for these candidates, and make it very simple and easy to digest. Do some Spencer Pratt style commercials, and let's save the city. Let's save the city.
Like I said, I just see other cities growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah,
and we have that possibility.
Right,
but we don't take advantage of that.
Right.
No.
We've got a good, really nice park system. We got a nice zoo. We've got, but a lot of things are pushing people and businesses out of the city.
Exactly right.
We need to reverse that trend,
Right.
and make Louisville a place that people want to come, live, raise their children. My district, I want people from the East End to say, man, I want to go over to the South End of Louisville, and they've got this. They've got nice restaurants. They've got stores.
Right.
Yeah, because 50 years ago, 60 years ago, they did. It was beautiful
South
there.
End of Louisville is the heart of the city.
It is.
If you come to Louisville and you're flying, you fly into the South End.
Right.
If you want to attend an event at the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center, David Beck's doing a great job.
That's right.
They're adding on to the South Wing. Once that's complete, they're going to take down the West Wing and start working on that, because it's the oldest part of the Fair and Exposition Center. I want people to say, man, I want to go there because it's got great things to offer.
Right.
I'm selfish in my neighborhood because we've got a nice neighborhood. It can be greater. I want people to say, I want to go to Wilder Park.
And
Bob,
Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, he's an example of a Louisville refugee. Because, he used to be in Louisville, but he's out in the more of a exurb, what they call the exurbs now in Shelby County.
Well, it's just really refreshing to hear someone that wants to go and do what's right for the constituents. It is something that's everywhere. Both Democrat, both Republican, federal, state, local. People will sell out to special interest groups. And that's who they're more concerned about serving as opposed to the people. So we absolutely need more, forward-thinking candidates that are stepping forward because they care about the people, and they're not just doing it in name only, but they're going to put actions behind their words. So yes. Everything that our guest has shared today is critically important, and we as a state, we as a city, if we're going to get things turned around, we have to. I'm pleading with everybody that's listening, go out and vote. Educate yourself and go out and vote for the candidates that are going to represent you. If you're sick and tired of raising crime rates, and it is happening, if you're sick and tired of higher taxation. It is happening. You need to go and find people that are going to support you and listen to you, in the process.
And also, you're tired of seeing your communities just fade away because so many of our citizens in this city are just leaving and being replaced by non-citizens. All right. Now, that's a sensitive issue for a lot of reasons, but let's face it, there are neighborhoods in this country or in this city that are no longer
people do we know,
American.
Tom, that have moved? I live over in Shelby County that have moved. I know several that got sick and tired of what was happening in the city of Louisville, and they're moving out to surrounding areas.
That's exactly
in southern Indiana. I've heard that too.
Hometown.
They're moving there to southern Indiana.
Yeah, southern Indiana is blowing up.
And I just want to say again, I want to echo Bob, echo Tom, and Lonnie Joseph, District 21. Lonnie, I want to know, what can we do between now and November to help Lonnie Joseph, Nancy Lynn Walters, Kat Timmerman, and to keep all of our great incumbents? Give us 3 things that people can do out there to help you. Come find you, hear you speak, walk. Tell us what
Number
we can
one,
do.
Prayer,
absolutely. This audience will pray.
Prayer.
Yeah.
I pray daily, morning, noon, and night.
For your protection,
about myself,
for sure.
all the other candidates, everyone, whether they're Republican or Democrat.
Right.
I don't see an R or D in front of anybody's name when I talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely care. I'm not running for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running for us.
Yes.
As a whole. Like I said, if I make District 21 better, I just made the city better. Support.
Mm-hmm.
We need everyone's support. And that comes in many different ways. That could be prayer,
Mm-hmm.
Helping knock on doors,
Yes.
writing postcards, thank you cards, thank you letters, donation letters.
Mm-hmm.
Donation is a big thing.
Right.
And it's the same way for the Democratic Party.
Right.
But we physically need.
You need time, talent, and treasure.
Yeah, we need all
Mm-hmm.
that. And the third one, I just think, really think about what you're doing and who you're voting for. Number one, I want people to vote.
Mm-hmm.
If they vote for my person that I'm running against, that's fine. I want to do this the right way. I'm led by God in my faith,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to win the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be fair. Me and my wife have gone through a lot the last few weeks prior to the election. A lot of hateful rhetoric. My wife is my mother bear. She wants to protect me, but I just let it go. Like I said, again, the more negative response I get, I feel like the better I'm
You're
doing.
making headway.
I'm making headways because if I'm getting to people, like you said, I'm taking the flak. I'm over the target, I'm going to hit that target.
That's right.
I'm confident. It's not if I win, it's when I win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and let's just be honest. The dirtiest politics is local politics because people know each other and they just get into each other's business a lot. And so it's kind of let's just get real about that. So just,
Well, my nephew
takes some courage to get out there and
my
do
nephew
this.
is Jonathan Joseph. He's District 12
Rep.
city council member.
Yep.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I lean on him and talk to him and cry on his shoulder, and he'll laugh at me and he'll say, "That's just politics."
That's just politics, man. You're exactly right. You just get a thick skin and go on.
I talked to
Worst they can do
Dan
is
Symes Sr., a past
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
senator,
Yep.
and he'll tell me the same thing. You don't worry about that stuff.
that's right.
Yeah.
He says,
Don't worry
"You
about
got
the
a
small
job.
stuff.
You've got a job to do. Focus
That's right.
on that job."
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're going to push through, cross the finish line, and we're going to win this thing.
Yes,
Good deal.
you are.
All right, Bob, you got 10 seconds. What do you
Hey,
got?
we're praying for you, brother, and I do pray in the name of Jesus. You surround Lonnie and his team with your angels and give them your wisdom in Jesus' name.
Yes.
Debbie, 10 seconds.
Amen. I echo all of that.
There
And
we go.
we love our audience.
And don't let Louisville become L.A., all right?
No.
Right.
All right?